a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Jeremy Lee in the building and every guest that you ever needed. Sports cards after hours keep the hobby heated. Updates, hobby talk like you've never seen it. Sports cards live and none could ever beat it. Sports cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
All right, everybody. Welcome back again to the third episode of the PWCC Weekly Hockey Auction Extended Bidding Live coverage. Today is Monday, February the 6th, 2023, and my name, as it was last night, is still Jeremy Lee. I want to thank everybody who tunes in, watches, listens to Sports Cards Live. If you are not yet subscribed, please take a moment and do so. Let's bring out our co-host for tonight, Josh Madigan from Hockey Cards Gongshow. Josh, welcome back 2 days in a row.
Yeah, are we living Groundhog Day?
Yeah. Isn't it Groundhog Day like coming up right away here too?
I think so. Much. I don't know. I don't remember. It's always winter in Minnesota, so it doesn't matter.
There you go. There you go. Well, we're going to give this a go again tonight. If for anybody who was with us last night, the PWCC platform did go down during or just into extended bidding. Josh and I managed to carry the show and have what ended up being a really fun and interesting Q&A on hockey cards in general. So that episode has been rebranded as Sports Cards Live, episode number 172 or 73, and changed the thumbnail and everything. So that is now Josh's Sports Cards Live debut. But so thanks everyone who did stick with us last night. We had a great time, but we are back tonight, and hopefully everything goes off without a hitch on the PWCC platform. There are still 147 hockey lots up for bid. You no longer need to qualify for extended bidding. You can see on the screen right now, new all access extended bidding is the new way, at least for the month of February, for all of the PWCC auctions. So that's pretty cool. You can decide to bid at the very end. You just have to be registered to bid with them. So if you're not yet registered, go to pwccmarketplace.com and make sure you are registered so that you can bid on the auctions tonight and into the future. Josh, the same 147 items as last night, but I guess a good thing is that we didn't look at them all. At the point we realized that the site was down, we hadn't really gone. I don't even think we got to the second page. So there's still lots of fresh cards for us to look at. So, but I'm going to start with just asking you, kind of what caught your eye. I'm going to bring up the screen. Here it is. Here we have the main page. And again, as last night, I have it sorted to 147 results. So as you can see right here, earliest year first is the order. We've only got the auctions ending today, only hockey. And we have wax hockey as well for a total of 147 lots. And same cards we saw last night, Josh, on this page. Anything you want to talk about? I know you'd made some observations about the Lalonde. I know we all love the Maurice Richard. I'm going to scroll through, and please stop me if there's anything you'd like to talk about, Josh.
I think we covered a lot of it last night, but just some amazing cards. I mean, you could argue between the Tim Horton 53 Parkers and the Maurice Richard rookie that those are maybe two of the best cards in the whole auction.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that comment. At least for me, you can tell I have bids in on both of them. The Richard, I put a bid in of 4,500. It's at 15,500. I'm gonna, as I mentioned last night, I'm gonna bow out of that. I own a PSA 4 copy that I love and I'm very happy with. This is a card I'm still interested in. I just don't know. That's going to be a game time decision for me. And there's this Lalonde, which is a PSA 7 that's at $3,500. We did a bit of digging before we started the show. And this card had actually sold back in 2011 on classic auctions, once for about $6,600. And then again later in 2011 for $5,500. Fast forward to 2017. Actually, I'm just going to bring this on here. Right there, you guys can see the three sales that are archived on PSA's website. You had $2,640 in 2017. So what we don't know what this one here is going to sell at today. It's at $3,500. So it's a bit higher than the last one, but still significantly lower than what I think we can assume would be sort of the all-time highs that we can see down here at $6,663. But, in any event, just a great card, and one that I love. I'm working on that set. Let's keep on going, Josh. Let's scroll all the way down here, because last night we did not get to the page 2. Let's see if we can get there today. Looks like I shouldn't speak too soon, but here we go. And here is page 2. So nice to see page 2. Nice to see page 2, and nice to see that the PWCC website is back up and functioning. I'm sure they worked around the clock to get it back up. So, Josh, 1971, we have the O-Pee-Chee Marcel Dionne here in a BGS 6.5 or a BVG, and we have an O-Pee-Chee PSA 7 with the superior eye appeal rating. That's a top 5%. That's a very strong eye appeal rating by PWCC. And I can tell just by looking at it from here, the centering is pretty much bang on. What do you think about the 71 O-Pee-Chee cards, and perhaps the Marcel Dionne in particular?
Well, it's one of my favorite sets. I think the Marcel Dionne is cool, and I think PWCC is spot on. You're not going to find probably a better PSA 7 than the one there. And it's an interesting compare and contrast between the BVG 6.5, just from the centering perspective, how much, they say by the card, not the grade, and how much that eye appeal factor really does make a significant difference.
It really does. That 7 to me is miles ahead of the BVG 6.5. Not to say that BVG 6.5 isn't a legit 6.5. The centering certainly looks 6.5, but yeah, I like that card. I like the centered version. This Gordie Howe here, 1970 tops, the year before this one. The thing about this card is, first of all, it looks gorgeous to me as a near mint 8 and a PSA holder. But there is the better version would be the O-Pee-Chee, or better is not the best word. There is a more desirable version, or a version that is desired more widely, more broadly in the hobby, being the O-Pee-Chee version. And, you're going to pay a lot more for the O-Pee-Chee, but this is a very nice tops card. And it's a nice, you can get in on the same card. They look pretty much the exact same for a lot lower price. So, Tops is a nice alternative from your regular O-Pee-Chee. Before we scroll down, Josh, I want to get to these comments. Jake Dahl, welcome back. Loud Collector, good to see you. Jeff McMahon, welcome back again. Loud Collector says, I watched last night's episode today. Great show. Love the Young Gun stock. Go high gloss and exclusives. Good to see you. Seb, our thoughts. Yeah, the Joe Thornton Black Diamond PSA 10 Pop 6. I think that card is I love that card. I own a copy in my collection, not a PSA 10. I have a PSA 9. I thought 10s were impossible, and Pop 6 kind of shows that they are. Josh, or if you could possibly even bring up the population of the 96 Joe Thornton Black Diamond, I'd like to see what the total submissions are and what that gem rate of a PSA of a Pop 6 would be. But Seb, to your question, Seb, you know as well as I do that it's a great card. Joe Thornton's a guaranteed Hall of Famer. He's had an amazing career, a very long and illustrious career. Just no Stanley Cup, which is, kind of not the best thing, but he'll maybe, I guess, is he retired? Did Joe Thornton retire? I think he must be.
Yeah, last year.
No, last year. Yeah. Him and Marleau, they're kind of at the end of the rope there. But I love the card, Seb. To me, it's probably the best rookie card of the 90s in hockey. Is there? Forgive me or correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a great card. Mitch says the same thing. Really curious on the Thornton. Still seems low. I know. I think last I looked, it was like $650 or $550. Mitch tells us that the last public sale was $3,150 in 2021. That does not surprise me. That's what I thought that card would fetch in the $2,000 to $4,000 range. So the fact that it's sitting really low, I think there's an opportunity there. And hello to you, Nick Martelli. Josh, did you happen to find something?
No, I'm trying to look on gem rate right now, and I'm not pulling it up, so I'm still looking.
Okay, no problem. I'm going to scroll through here, and let's have a look at the 74 O-Pee-Chee Bourrier Salming, a BVG 7.5. $88. That's a steal. That's a steal if, especially if this is not a sheet cut card, and it might be tough to tell. I'm going to just open that up and take a look. Here's a 75 O-Pee-Chee Mark Howe rookie. That's Gordy's son. He had 3 sons, and I believe 2 of them he played hockey with, and Mark was the best. Mark's a Hall of Famer himself, so let's put that out there. And this is his one and only rookie card. You'll notice it's a WHA card, so this isn't even an NHL card. There were 4 years, I guess 5 years if you count 72 in the 70s, where O-Pee-Chee made WHA products that were separate from the NHL products. Series 3 and 72 was a WHA product as well. I believe that to be the case. Here's a Gretzky rookie. It's a Topps PSA 4. Looks stronger than a 4 to me from this angle. I haven't zoomed in on it yet. That top right corner definitely has some problems, but overall I don't see anything too crazy on there. Again, I haven't zoomed in on it. A nice bossy rookie, Peachy, Beckett 6.5. Does not look to be sheet cut. I can tell even from here, just on the left and the right edges. So that's a nice card, actually. The centering on those cards is always hard. So to find a centered copy, you're pretty much in elusive territory there. And there we go. A Topps PSA 8 rookie, Wayne Gretzky, in superior eye appeal condition as per PWCC. Top 5%. That's very, very strong. $6,000, $7,200 with the buyer's premium. Yeah, listen, I have, I'm a hockey guy. I collect all sports, as a lot of you know, but I love my hockey, and a Topps Gretzky rookie is a card that I own a copy of, and I love it. So I would always recommend somebody to pick up a Topps copy, especially if they want to get in at a lower price than what you would have to get in with O-Pee-Chee.
So I do have a Joe Thornton update on the pop count and gem rate. I didn't find a combined, but looking at, PSA, there's 6 PSA 10s, and it's an 8.45% gem rate. There's 7 BGS 9.5s, and that's a 7.45% gem rate. So pretty low.
Can you repeat for me, the total submissions?
For BGS, and not a lot, it's 94, and there's 7 gems. And then for PSA, I'll have to go back real quick to that report. It should just take a second. 71 and 8.45% gem rate.
Only 71. That tells you how tough this card. This I believe was a triple diamond, which means I think it was harder to pull back in the day than a single. These were probably seeded 1 or 2 per box, and there's he's number 160. There was probably, I don't know how many cards in the set, but at least 160. And so this was not an easy pull in the first place. Under 100 total submissions to PSA, only 6 PSA 10s. I thought I was doing really well with my PSA 9, and I'm still very happy with it. And I don't intend to trade up or to upgrade. But $825 right now for this card, that's a ridiculous price. Like, this card, even right now, if this doesn't sell for at least $1,500 hammer price, and I think it could go for $2,500. Like, I'm surprised. There's only 6. This guy's a guaranteed Hall of Famer, 100% guaranteed. He's one of the all-time kind of longevity type players, and he's also one of the best. And there are some bids coming in. He's also one of the best assist men in the history of the game. Yeah, I'm surprised. I think I'm going to leave this window open, Josh, to keep, so we can always refer back and see where this price is, because to me, it's at about a third of where it should be. So lots of time on that, or lots of room to climb, I would think.
Yeah, well, a couple quick notes on that one is I'm not sure if this was true in 1996, but to make a little assumption, usually there's 4 tiers with Black Diamond when it comes to the rookie gems. So he would have been a 3rd tier considered at that point by Upper Deck. And then I'll just echo what you said, where if you're a Joe Thornton collector, you can't assume that there's going to be another one of these for sale next week. These are once a year, once every 2 year kind of opportunities.
That's right. And I believe back in this year, I don't think there was a quad diamond back in 96. I think that came out later.
Okay.
I think maybe someone in the chat can help us, but I do think that's the case. Hello to you. Nick Martelli says that he's top 10 assists all time. Jumbo Joe is a common nickname for Joe Thornton because he's a big guy. Irving, what's going on, pal? Hope to see you in Burbank next weekend. Decoy cards. Yeah, some people have this opinion on this card, but this is the way hockey cards were done in the early 90s, was that you could get a rookie card before you actually played in an NHL game. So this is what is considered by the hobby to be his rookie card. But Decoy says, not a fan of the Black Diamond. I always treat it like a pre-rookie card. Imagine his first playing year cards like Donruss Preferred, Leaf Fractals, Pinnacle, Zenith were rookies instead of the World Junior cards. Yeah, I totally hear that. I hear that, but I just don't think that the hobby is going to change generally, from a general perspective, away from this being his official rookie card, because it was issued in an NHL series. It is licensed. It was issued by Upper Deck. And so for that reason, I think this will go down like forever as his rookie card. Goes on to say, but if you like it, high-grade Black Diamonds are really hard to come by. Yes, they are. Oh, great to hear, Irving. We'll see you at Burbank on Friday. Can't wait, buddy. Nick Martelli says, was 96 Black Diamond its debut year? Was that the first year of Black Diamond? Oh boy, I should.
Great question.
Yeah, I think it might have been. 94, 95. I think it was. Decoy tells us that Ginla, Korea suffered the same thing, but yeah, I get it. Too much of a hassle. Well, yeah, and I mean, so did Teemu Solani and Zygmunt Palffy and all those guys that were in the 90-91 Upper Deck. Pavel Bure, same thing. His rookie card is Team Russia. So any hockey player who had his rookie card in, not any, but some in 90-91, 1, 2, 2, 3, all the way up until they changed the rule. You have to. This is one of those periods where you just got to pick what you like. But I completely understand the decision for your own collection to not have this card if you don't want it, and to have a card like his first Boston jersey or uniform card. I get it, but this I think will always be his official RC. Josh?
No, totally agree. I tried to do some quick searches. I'm not confident if there was anything prior to 1996. I did see a couple listings for 95, but those could just be mislistings, as we know happen from time to time.
Well, yeah. And there's Mitch tells us it was the first year. I believe so too. Seb, Teemu Solani, Paul Kariya, Eric Lindros, these guys all suffered that same fate. Eric Lindros is in his Oshawa Generals jersey on his one and only rookie card, which is from 90 Score. Lidstrom as well. He's card number 26. I'll never forget that in 91-92 O-Pee-Chee. Now, the nice thing about Lidstrom, and this is for me as a rookie card collector of Hall of Famers, I always had his pinnacle card. We're talking about Lidstrom now. I had his pinnacle card in my collection, and then I decided, you know what? I don't love the looks of that card. It's kind of green and red. Doesn't look great. But then I realized that in 91-92, like the high numbers series, they put out a young gun of Nicklas Lidstrom, and he's in a Detroit uniform. And to me, that is the card that I would choose for my PC for Nick Lidstrom. So it's from the same year, at least. That's a bit of it. That's one thing that Joe Thornton doesn't have. He doesn't have any Boston cards that are 96 issue. So again, pick and choose what you like, guys. That's the beauty of the hobby.
I think the term rookie in the early 90s was pretty loose. We found a sale a couple weeks ago on I think it's a 92 Fleer Ultra Lindros that has the rookie shield on the card itself. And it's like, well, so which was his rookie year? Was it 90? Was it 91? Or was it 92? Right. It's like it was a little fast and loose back then.
Yeah, with the rookie card. The rookie year did not necessarily coincide with the rookie card back in those days. Mitch confirms that they didn't have a quad that year, so that's what I thought. Nick Martelli Not you put the N in there by mistake. It's not Lindstrom, Nick. I'm sure you know that, but there was Willie Lindstrom back in the day. If anyone remembers Willie Lindstrom, played for the Jets and the Oilers back in the 80s. But yeah, I think I love that card. Cards from the 90s are pre-NHL. I'm ducking out here. Seb says 50 to 60% of the rookie cards from the 90s. Probably a pretty good guesstimate of that. So the Thornton's still sitting here at 925. We are 9 minutes away from extended bidding, but again, that's just when the bidding windows kick in. It does not impact your ability to bid. Josh, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good. Okay, I'm just making sure that that you've got me. So thank you. I skipped ahead here all the way to page 4. I think while we're on page 4, Josh, let's just go to the top, and we're going to do this. So we're not going to go in order, but let's just have a look here. This is just a not much of a Gretzky card, a highlights card, not his main card from the 89 O-Pee-Chee set. Here's a Martin Brodeur rookie card, the American version. This is in a PSA 9. So you'll notice that PSA didn't designate what version of the card it was. I kind of wish they would. They might not know that. I'm not sure. They should know that. There's, I'm sure, been a couple thousand submitted. But if it says score right here in blue, that's the US version. If that was in red, it would be the Canadian version. So the Canadian version is generally valued a bit more. So $11, you can tell, not that big of a card. Here's the first year Gretzky Upper Deck card in a CSG old label 9.5, $24. I'm not sure that I'm actually surprised it's at $24 because it's not a rare card by any means, but it is a cool card. I remember this card quite well from when it first came out. Elite Series, Donruss Elite, Wayne Gretzky, $20 for a CSG 7. Some other Gretzky's. This is neat. This is a nice die cut from 95 SP. Great Connection, it's called. Not a card I'm too familiar with, to be honest, but $26 for a PSA 8. I can see this. A lot of people who want to collect Gretzky inserts from the 90s, you don't have to spend, $500 and up. You can get some other pretty cool cards like this one. He's pictured as a St. Louis Blue. There's not a lot of cards with him in St. Louis Blue, so that's pretty sweet as well. Here's the Lemieux Select Certified Red BGS 9.5. Look at that. Population 1 of 1, none higher. BGS 9.5, $49. I don't know much about this card, i.e. like in terms of its desirability, its rarity, where it fits overall within the various parallels that may or may not exist. I'm just not sure. But $49 for a 1 of 1, none higher and a BGS 9.5. I mean, right there, that tells me that that's a pretty good deal. And it's a nice card. That's gold foil with his name right there. The protective coating still on there. I'm going to open this up actually, Josh, because I just want to see. Whenever there's protective coating left on a card, for me, the important thing is that the words don't cover his face. And you can see this one just meets my criteria. It does not cover his face. So that's pretty cool. It's a nice looking card. Like, just a nice card overall, but I really like the gold lettering, the gold foil lettering on it.
So do you generally prefer that a card that would be peeled, or this one, or do you like for the film on it?
Josh, that's such a good question. And for me personally, I probably prefer it without the peel because that's, I believe, the way they were meant to be enjoyed was with, it says right there, remove protective film. It says it right on there to remove it. So that tells me that was the intention. But because there is that issue with, a lot of people want it the way it came out of the pack. If you remove it, it's no longer in its original pristine condition. So you're going to lose maybe half your audience for it when you go to sell it. And, that's part of the reason why I don't love I don't collect a lot of these cards. But yeah, this one, I think people would favor it with the majority of people would favor it with the protective film. For me and my PC, I would take it off and then submit it for grading.
Did you notice the irony of the subgrades on that too?
The surface is a 9. Yeah.
It's like, how do you have a 9 grade unless there's something on the back, I suppose. But where you'd think with the film on there that would make the surface good to go.
I think we have to assume it's the back. We almost have to, because unless someone took a knife and scraped through the protective film to get to the actual surface, I think you have to, and that's a good call out by you. I think you have to assume it's the back. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense, right? So, and that's a pretty cool card. I've never really looked at it before. And here's our Joe Thornton, still at $925. A Gretzky SP Authentic Sign of the Times. Maybe the first Sign of the Times, I'm not sure, but this is an authentic grade with an authentic. It's so the card is not graded, but the autograph has been given a grade of 10. It does look pretty solid to me. 1 of 2, 7 graded higher. This one's not graded, so that would explain why, I guess. $525 seems pretty good. And if I'm right, if this is his first Sign of the Times, I mean, they've been making Sign of the Times every year since then. And if it is correct that this is his first one, that would be a pretty cool card. Mitch, do you know, is this his first Sign of the Times? 97. I'm curious. And sorry, Mitch, but you're so helpful. I'm gonna keep calling on you, buddy.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to Grotman Cards there. Yeah, Josh.
So this one means that the card is authenticated, and then the auto has a 10 grade, right? And just the card isn't graded. So you can be confident that it is a real card and it's been authenticated. Just for whatever reason, the submitter chose not to grade the card.
Exactly. Or the card is altered in some format, in some way, and they just said it's authentic. They didn't put altered, and they graded the autograph itself. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. This card, I don't know. There's just it's hard to understand with the way PSA kind of puts their descriptors on the labels, because there's so many different versions. It's hard to know what this truly means. Is this card potentially altered? I think the answer is yes, it might be, but it also might not be. So I don't know.
The other thing that stands out to me, and this goes back to our conversation last night where we were talking about autographs and how they fit on different cards. And I had made the point that I really appreciate autograph cards where the design of the card is sort of built around the autograph. And I guess this would be a really great example that I would point to, where it's just an awesome looking card. The autograph doesn't take away from the card. It's additive from an aesthetic perspective. I love the color match with his Ranger sweater and the border of the card. And when we looked at the auction on our show, this is one of the 2 that I had picked out in the more modernish side that was one of my favorites. And the auto is amazing on this card too.
Yeah, the auto is very nice. It does look good. I look at the gap between the inner like sort of where you're supposed to put the card. There's a little bit of a gap right there, and that seems like a big gap. There's no gap over here. This isn't gap. This is plastic right here, and then you got the card. So there's no gap here. There's a bit of a gap on this, and that's just the way the card is in the holder when they put it into scan. If there was any gap on this side, that would concern me, that maybe it was trimmed on one of the sides, but I don't think this is trimmed from looking at it. I mean, I would assume it isn't, based on just how it fills the slab itself. Sorry, this page doesn't work very well in Firefox. But in any event, nice looking card. $525. Again, if that is his first Sign of the Times, that's pretty cool. Here's an SPX, 98 SPX Finite Spectrum Gretzky, numbered out of 225. This one is MBA authenticated. I guess just meaning that it's not a counterfeit card, and it's a pretty nice looking card. Hopefully it comes up here again. So if we just come down to this picture here, I mean, this card is really shiny. That's what I get from it. Like, look at that. Yeah, this is a pretty shiny card. The back, 42 of 225 right there. Neat card. I believe there are several. Several. There's more than one parallel of this card. This is the Finite Spectrum. So there might be one that's out of a lower number still. I'm not sure. But in any event, pretty cool card.
Well,
pretty cool card for $52.
Absolutely. And what stands out to me when you were looking at all the profiles. And this is one of the thing that I really appreciate about PWCC. If you're going to list a card with them, the image treatment that you get is second to none. You have the video there of really showing how the light refracts off the card and all the colors that come out of it. And again, the high res images. So I just think that that's a big plus for, the selling perspective.
Yeah. I'm with you. So now, if a card in the auction, again, we have 147, I think. If a card does not get a bid in the next 29 minutes, that card will end at the current price. And you see where it says in red here, bid needed to extend item. That means that, if there's a bid in the next 28 and a half minutes, it will extend it into the first 5-minute window that starts at 7:30 Pacific. And if not, the card will end, and we'll see what the last surviving hockey item is on the night. I'm going to just scroll to the very top here. Let's watch the ticker. We'll see bids coming in on all cards from all categories while we just run through a bunch of comments. I want to get caught up with them. Nick Martelli here says, crazy with the 90s rookies. I opened a 94-95 Pinnacle US edition not too long ago, and it was Korea, Forsberg, Palfi, Pekka. Yeah, amazing rookies back in the early 90s. Here, Mitch says the Black Diamond cards number 1 to 90 were single diamond, and then doubles, and then 151 to number 180 were triple. Yeah. Tells us I might be forgetting one, but I think Lalim and Thornton. Yeah, Lalim. And what about Marleau? Is he not a triple? He's like the second best card in that set. Nick says the select hockey is hard to find, whether it has the covering or not, especially in high grades. Love these inserts, just so different compared to the other one. Yeah, for sure, Nick, for sure. Sad thing is once the peel is removed, they are usually around 8s or 8.5s or lower. Too bad. That is the first Wayne Gretzky sign of the times. Mitch has confirmed it. So that's kind of cool. That's pretty darn cool. The first Gretzky sign of the times. And they basically made one every year since then. Here we are almost 20 years later. So I'm assuming they put one in every year, but maybe they took a couple off here or there. Decoy says, if you're not worried about the grade, I'm team peel. Protective layer is like a watermark. Yeah, well said. It's like a watermark. Mm-hmm. Mitch says, I can't say for sure, but that's also probably his least rare sign of the times. They were 1 per box, and Gretzky wasn't a short print. Oh, that's interesting. That would take a bit of luster off the card, but I don't see them very often still. Gerald says, if the card was altered, they would disclose that. They wouldn't slab it authentic without mentioning altered. Authentic for me usually is it didn't hit a minimum grade request and submitter chose authentic. All right, Gerald, thanks for that clarification. Mitch says he was a duel with Howe at a 158 from that year. It's pretty sought after, though. Decoy, funny enough, that was the same year as Thornton's first sign of the times. Nick Martelli says, if you look up the PSA cert number, wouldn't it tell us further? I don't think it tells you anything further, Nick. You get your grade. I think that's about it you get with PSA as far as like information on the card itself that they run through their system. Mitch says the Gretzky SPX Finite has an out of 25 and a 1 of 1. Crazy. What is up, Baz? Welcome to the show. So let's scroll back down this page now and check in on the Thornton, still at $925, 54 on the Lemieux, $26. So as you can see here now, these two on the outside have both turned green, meaning that they are going to go into the next phase of extended bidding, as are these two cards over here. So we're gonna lose some cards. There's still another 25 minutes to go. Nothing here has received a bid in the last 4 minutes. This row, we're 2 for 4 that have received bids. Here's a Marc-Andre Fleury. 2003 is his rookie year. This is a rookie patch auto. I wouldn't call this a patch, though. I think it's more of a rookie jersey auto, numbered out of 10, pop 1 of 1, none higher. And it's almost sad that it's only a 9 auto. Let's have a look at that. This is one of the reasons why I'm not a fan of grading an autograph, because if we look at this, I don't know. Is it only because it went off of the kind of the sticker a little bit here?
No, it didn't.
Oh, no, there's some bubbling in here.
Gotcha.
No, there's some bubbling right in this area. There's bubbling throughout, actually. Bubbling up here, bubbling down here, and quite a bit of bubbling right in there. I'm thinking that must be the problem, because you're right. Like he kept his ink on the sticker completely here. So But in any event, it's still beautiful. I mean, to me, that's a great autograph. I don't see any reason to penalize it from a value perspective, especially number 3 of 10. Pretty cool card here. I wonder if I know one guy who might be going for this card, because this is a Parkhurst rookie. Pretty sweet card. Pretty sweet card for a Marc-Andre. And hey, listen, this is from 2003. The guy is still playing. He's the goaltender for the Minnesota Wild. Josh, you know all about Marc-Andre Fleury right now. That's a pretty sweet. And he's got Stanley Cups. Guaranteed Hall of Famer. No doubt about that. Here's a rookie year. Sidney Crosby, Fleer Ultra, uniformity jersey, and a BGS 8 holder, $76. This card would probably sell for more if it was raw, because 8 is a pretty low grade for a card from 2005. That said, pretty cool. It's a rookie year jersey, Sidney Crosby card. And the Fleer Ultras are pretty cool. I used to collect some of these. Here we have a PSA 10 Ovechkin Young Gun. It's at 4,200. Needs a bid to get into the next window. And then here's a Jonathan Toews. This is his Cup RPA. Jonathan Toews, another guaranteed Hall of Famer. I'm not throwing that around lightly. Like this is for sure. He's a guaranteed Hall of Famer. His career was he was one of the top hobby guys for many years. He slowed down as he's gotten older, but it's still a guaranteed Hall of Famer. Nice 4-color patch, rookie card out of 99, Cup RPA. It's not graded by Beckett. I don't know what this really means. Just slabbed by Beckett. Maybe it's just authenticated. But in any event, an opportunity to get one of his 4-color patch autos, rookie patch autos from the Cup for $875 plus buyer's premium. You're at about $1,000 right now. So pretty cool card. And the bottom row here, the Jacob Markstrom Prism Gold 2013 PSA 9, $50. These, I believe, are out of 10. Yeah, this is out of 10.
Yeah.
This card here, Ryan O'Reilly, this is $5. This isn't much of a card. Here's a Nathan McKinnon. This is a rookie year from what is this, from Anthology? Yeah, rookie year patch auto, or it's a jersey auto out of 249, BGS 9, Pop 11, 3 graded higher, $410. You know what? I'm actually I think that's a good price. And by good, I mean that's a healthy price. I don't think it's a bargain. I don't think it's too high. I think it's probably right where it could be. He is, by many people's accounts, the second best player in the NHL behind Connor McDavid, and won the Stanley Cup last year. So this is an opportunity to get into a Nathan McKinnon, memorabilia auto rookie. It is a sticker auto too, so that's going to turn some people off, but $400. I mean, a lot of his other RPAs or rookie patch autos, rookie year patch autos or jersey autos are going to go for more money. So potentially good opportunity there.
So I have a question for you, if you don't mind, on McKinnon. Why do you think he is not considered in the top tier of the hobby guys, right? Not on the same hobby level as Crosby, Ovechkin, McDavid, right? Now, especially too, since he's won a cup.
I just don't think he's good enough to be. I mean, Crosby and Ovechkin are generational. So is Connor McDavid. I think Nathan McKinnon is, close, but not quite. He's just not as good as those other players in their primes. I mean, yeah, I think it's just as simple as that. I think he's next. And then you can say, well, what about Austin Matthews? Well, he does compete with Austin Matthews in terms of value, but Austin Matthews also has that he's in Toronto going for him. He's also, more recent, 2016 rookies versus 2013. There might be something to that. So, but I think also McKinnon hasn't had a great year this year so far after winning the Cup last year. So, you win the Cup, you then kind of want to have a great follow-up year. And I think he was hurt for a little bit.
Yeah, he's been pretty banged up. But yeah, very similar to what we've kind of put him in that tier 2 from a hobby hype perspective, where you've got Matthews and Makar and McKinnon, right? Would kind of all three be in that next tier down from the top guys.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. Here's a 2013 Tarasenko, Vladimir Tarasenko. I mean, he's a good example of a player who kind of his cards just shot up in value early on. His Cup RPA was a redemption. They didn't come out for several years after 2013, after the product was released. And when they first came out, they were doing a lot, like $2,000, $2,500. Now I think you can get his Cup RPA for probably like $400 to $600 is my guess. I could be wrong, right? So this is a guy who, players can go on streaks for a season or a season and a half, and then they can kind of, settle back down. Another thing to be really careful about, I'll use Johnny Gaudreau, one of my all-time favorite players when he was with the Calgary Flames. He's kind of fallen out of that for me now that he's no longer here. But Johnny Gaudreau had an amazing year last year, 115 points, something like that. And now he's in Columbus, and he's not doing what he did last year. Last year was a contract year for him. He had to perform in order to make the money, and he did. He got a great contract in Columbus. So I think if you're going to look at really putting money into a player when they are hot, just cross-check and see, are they also in a contract year? Because if they are, that might be the most motivated they'll ever be to perform at a high level. So just know that before you decide to pump a bunch of money into a player who's having a great year. Make sure they're not in a contract year, because you might not like what you see down the road. Gonna go. I would
totally echo that. And one of the things that we talk about all the time is it's very easy to get caught up when, especially if you collect the young guys, right? So if you collect card players from the last, let's say this year or the two previous seasons, where there's so many guys that have so much potential, and you look at even the values will reflect that, right? Where you'll have a bunch of guys who sell for $200-$300. But if you take a step back and you consider the fact that you say, okay, over the last 20 years, how many tier or top tier level guys have there been? 3. How many second tier guys have there been? Probably 3 more, right? And so if there's between, looking at Robertson, Kaprizov, Thompson, Caulfield, all Hughes, all these guys, there's no way all of them are top tier hobby guys 5 years from now, right? There might be 1 or 2 if we're lucky. And so
that's right.
It's just kind of just to echo what you said.
That's right. I agree with that for sure. Back to comments. Mitch says, yeah, Patrick Marleau was a double diamond. Nick Martelli says the cool thing is they also had samples released. Sports Card Influencer says, just a reminder that 95% of modern cards will be next to worthless. Jeremy won't tell you that, so I will. Actually, you're wrong, Sports Card Influencer. 99% of modern cards will be next to worthless, because 99% of cards are base cards. So, but I'm going to go on to Mitch Grotman. Mitch says the Taves Cup rookie is an interesting one to watch. Why, Mitch? Add some context if you don't mind. Jay-Z Markstrom came out of my collection. Oh, cool. Nice to see you got some cards selling on the platform this week, Jay-Z, and good to see you, buddy. Nick Martelli says, I think right now it could be a great time for him since his stuff is down. I think he's talking about Jonathan Taves here. Nick is, I think. And yeah. I mean, he's a player where, I don't think his cards are going to go up anytime soon, because I don't see him breaking out. Now, if he gets traded before the deadline to a contender and he wins another cup and he's instrumental, you'll see a spike for sure. But I think that the next time you're going to see his cards really do something from a value perspective is going to be upon retirement, and then again upon Hall of Fame, or at least, coming up, leading up to Hall of Fame. Mitch says, Jeremy, sorry if you talked about it yesterday and I missed it. Can you talk about the C144 card that's up? I don't know much. You're talking about that's the Champs card. Yeah, we can go back to that a little bit later, Mitch. Nick says he won the cup and plenty of people were pumping and dumping him. This is McKinnon. He isn't as electrifying or dynamic compared to the other guys. Yeah, that's true too. He just isn't. But sometimes he'll take the puck and run through the other team's defense and score a goal. I mean, he is a power forward in that way. So, but Decoy makes a good point here. Only 1 player per team is allowed to be tier 1. I mean, that's pretty true. It's just the way things shake out. Cards AH says, look at modern cards of guys who recently hit the Hall of Fame. McGinley, Sedins, their stuff isn't huge. No, it's not huge, because their cards are their rookies are from the 90s. So that's a problem we're going to run into for about that 10, 15-year period even when players' cards came out between like 89 and the early 00s. So I think that's just the way it is. Grotman Card says Taves is interesting because I remember it being $5,000. So I'm curious where they're at now, especially with a nice patch like that. Yeah, I remember those days too, Mitch, when the Taves, again, he was the hottest hockey player. He was one of the hottest hockey players in the hobby for quite some time. He had a ton of collectors, ton of hardcore collectors. Baz says base rookie cards are the hallmark of the majority of collectors' collections, especially from 1950 to 2000. Yeah, and I think when the hobby kind of puts down base cards nowadays, I don't think, at least for me, they're not talking about base cards pre-2000. They're talking about base cards from like the Prism era most of the time, maybe even 2010 forward, even a bit earlier, because until you had those crazy awesome insert cards and parallels in the second half of the 90s, all you really had were base cards and a few little inserts and subsets here and there. So it makes a lot of sense to me, but I think it's a new class of base card that gets kind of pooed on all the time by people saying, oh, too many people are grading base cards. So Baz says, except for the 80s Oilers, they had 7 to 10 tier 1 players. They had a few tier 1 players for sure, but not tier 1 for the hobby. There you go. That says it well. Yeah. All right, good stuff. Let's continue here. A couple of 84, 85 O-Pee-Chee rookies. Well, three of the top ones in the set. You got Neely, you got Chelios, you've got Yzerman. You're missing LaFontaine, and who's the other one? I always forget one of the big ones here.
Gilmore.
Thank you, Gilmore, Andrechuk, right. Rasso. There's a few more, but BGS 8.5 Yzerman for $250. Seems about right. Chelios raw for $8. Cam Neely raw for $10. Couple more. Here's the Gretzky card from the set. That's a Topps card in a CSG 7, $12. Basically the price of a raw card at that point. Same with a PSA set or a PSA 7 Topps 84. Again, not his main card in the set, just more of an all-star, which would be a subset within the overall series. I love the Gretzky 85 O-Pee-Chee. This is a strong grade. BGS 9. These cards are really tough to find. I think like the PSA 10 population is right around 20, something like that, or maybe less. Not many of them. This is a real tough year for the Gretzky. And if you're doing the Gretzky run, which I recommend you do, I do the Gretzky run. So I just know that this card in high grade is very difficult. Here's another Gretzky from the series, raw condition for $8. Patrick Waugh, O-Pee-Chee rookie card, BGS 8.5. What's the problem here? It looks like the surface got an 8, $370. This is, to me, this is a top 3 rookie card of the 80s for hockey. Top 3, along with Mario Lemieux, and then take your pick between Bourque, Messier, Yzerman, Brett Hall. Some people might argue for. There's some good rookie cards in the 80s. Second year Mario. I love the second year Mario card. This is a Topps PSA 5, $14. Yeah, sounds about right to me.
Where do you put the Waugh rookie in the pantheon of goalie cards? Is it in the? Wow. Is it the greatest goalie rookie, you think, or would Jacques Plante be the best goalie rookie card, or what do you think?
I mean, there's several rookie cards I would buy. Well, I have most of them, so but if I didn't, there's several that I would buy ahead of the Patrick Waugh. I would start with the George Vezina. I would look at the Jacques Plante, the Ken Dryden, the Glenn Hall. That might be about it. You can make a case for Johnny Bauer, Gump Worsley. These guys had rookies in the 50s. And then, I don't think there's many more, really. I think Dominic Hasek was a better goalie, like just from a skill perspective. Patrick Waugh likely had the better career, but Martin Brodeur, of course, although his a junk wax rookie. Oh yeah, Mitch just saw. I forgot Sawchuk. Yeah, that's my bad. Sawchuk for sure is in there. So yeah, I'd say he's a top 10 goalie rookie card and a top 2 or 3 goalie of all time. It's hard to compare with George Vezina.
Here's the case I would make, because the problem you have is that way too much about hockey cards, and I might say that, and you can take this or leave it, but that from the average, I don't know what you call it, everyday hockey card collector, the novice or intermediate, that it might be the most iconic goalie card that there is, right? That the most people would recognize and the most people would understand and appreciate its value. Maybe not a seasoned collector or advanced collector, or however you want to put it, but I just have a lot of appreciation for that card.
I think you're right. I think you make a good point. I believe it would be the most recognizable today, because if you're not a fan, unless you've been a sports card fan for the last 30 years and you are well aware of the Vezina and the Sawchuk and the Plant and the Dryden, you might only know the Waugh and the Martin Brodeur. You might not even be that familiar with the Dominic Hasek rookie because it's from 91, 92 Upper Deck. You know, he's got a Parkhurst as well and probably one or two more. But yeah, I think you make a good point. This is a Topps copy down here. We had the O-Pee-Chee up here. So the Topps is at $38 and a PSA 4. So, yep. But hey, it's at $38. Not too bad. Brett Hull, Topps rookie, and a CSG 7.5 at $14. This is another case of where from the 80s, a Topps card is a card that I have in my collection. This is because the O-Pee-Chee version, he's on the ice in a jersey in a photo shoot having his photo taken. So that's a pretty cool card. $11 for a CSG 7.5. We're at page 4. We went to page 3. Let's go to page 2 now. And then we'll go to 5. While it's loading, Nick Martelli says, I think with hockey, you get in early when rookies are hot, or you can get in when they are around retiring and are Hall of Famers, although some of the generational greats will always be out of reach. I mean, listen, if you're only in it for like money, I understand that. I'm not saying that's the only case, but there is something to be said for owning a card while the player is going through their ups and downs, because that's, when you watch a player play and you own their card, that's when we feel like we actually have a piece of it, And I remember last year, not this year's, last year's Super Bowl, I had a Joe Burrow and a Matt Stafford rookie, and I put them on my TV stand that my TV was above, and I had them there, and during the Super Bowl. Like, that was a lot of fun having those cards while I was watching them go against each other in the Super Bowl. Obviously, it's football, not hockey, but there's something to be said for collecting a modern player who you like. Now, I'm not somebody who's going to go hard on a rookie card right away. I'm going to wait a couple years and then maybe pay more because the player was really, they proved to be good. But, that's just my way of kind of balancing out. Otherwise, I might prospect on a dozen players and hit one. So something to be said for being in the game while they're playing. We did this page, did we not? Yes.
Yeah,
we did. So I'm going to skip ahead now to, I meant to go to 3.
I don't think we got to like
page 3.
More like the Connor McDavid rookie years, like 2015 stuff. And yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we've been here. Okay. I'm sorry about that, everybody. Let's go to page 6. And Jay-Z says the Gretzky 9 is also from the Jay-Z collection. Very nice. Baz says, love the 85. Yeah. The 85 Gretzky is awesome. Vintage Card Collector says the 79 Topps Gretzky PSA 8 top 5% is at almost $11K. That's huge, since the average 8 goes for $4,000 to $5,000 or $4,000 to $4,500, $4,000 to $4,500. This might be a case where if you were to compare the populations of a PSA 8 Topps Gretzky rookie versus the O-Pee-Chee, which are there more of? I don't know. It might be that the higher grade Topps cards are rarer than the higher grade O-Pee-Chees, in which case they may be worth, they may just be worth close to it. Well, I guess the O-Pee-Chee 8s are in the $15,000 area. So to say that the Topps is almost Topps average is $4,000 to $4,500. Yeah, this is high, but it's like, what's the population of the two 8s against each other, PSA versus Topps? Does anyone have that available? Mitch says 1933 O-Pee-Chee Hainsworth deserves a mention too. But it's not. Hainsworth has an earlier card than that, though, Mitch, and it's lesser kind of known, I believe. So I believe I have it. I have to go find it right now. So I'm going to find this thing to show you. Yeah, Hainsworth has a 1923. So here, let me just do this, and I'll show you the Hainsworth. Hainsworth is worth mentioning. But this is the Hainsworth 1923 V128 Pollens. And this is a very difficult card. So it's 10 years older than the O-Pee-Chee. So I don't think the O-Pee-Chee deserves a mention. If anything, this does. But I don't know. I mean, it's a great card, but it's not like one of those cards that is widely, hotly pursued, like the way a 33 Eddie Shore rookie would be, or a 23 Patterson, Howie Morenz, or Jack Adams, or Aurel Joliot. Like there's, so, but good call out nonetheless. Jake Dahl says that 88 Topps Gretzky Kings jersey is so iconic. Yes, it is. Yes.
Hey, Jeremy, so I got an update on the Gretzky rookie PSA 8. The O-Pee-Chee pop count is 782, and the Topps is 1,220.
Okay. So that's the PSA 8. And do you have the total submissions on those to see what the 8 rate is?
Yeah. So on Topps, the total submission to PSA is 9,148. So it's a 0.02% gem rate.
Yeah, we want the 8 rate. So it's about a
Oh yeah. So the 8 rate,
about an 8.5%, or sorry, about a 12% 8 rate in Topps.
Yeah.
What's the total of Peachy submissions? Do you have that?
Yeah, I can pull it up. Just one sec.
Yeah, while you're doing it, I'm going to read Seb's comment here. Hasek, by far the most athletic and strategic goalie ever. He let large area of the net open to make the save at the right spot, according to stats where a player would target the opened area. Yeah, Hasek is my favorite goaltender to watch of all time. Josh, did you get O-Pee-Chee?
10,149 submissions.
Okay, so the O-Pee-Chee rate is a lot tougher. 782 out of just over 10,000 versus Topps is 1,220 over 9,150. So that explains why the Topps 8 sell for around 11 grand and the O-Pee-Chee 8 sell for like 15 to 20. So, but when you have the top 5%, I mean, that's the thing. Not all PSA 8s are equal. Like there's only between 8 and 9, there's like a lot of variation there. So you can't just go by the most recent comp on any PSA graded vintage card. You have to look at the card itself. Good luck to you, Jake Dahl, still winning my card. You hope to get it. I wish you luck with that. I wonder what's going on with the card I was bidding on. Here we go. Oh, the Thornton is up to $1,225 plus $250. So this is a $1,500 card right now. The Thornton, right beside the Hornton, is at $1,150. It's going to go into the next bidding window. And again, I think it's too cheap. I think it's too cheap. This one, the Richard rookie hasn't gotten a bid lately, and I had bids in on these 3 basketball cards as well from way back, but I'm pretty much out on this one. I'm out on this one. I'd love to pick one of these up still. I had one, I sold it before. But that's basketball. We're here to talk about hockey, but I got to keep my eyes on the Horton. I still might make a play at it tonight. Okay, here's page number 6 of the auction. So we have
your screen is sharing, Jeremy.
Thank you. Make sure, Josh, you always call me out on that because I'm sharing it with myself over there. I just forgot to bring it back up on the screen. Here is page number 6 of the auction, everybody. And first off, a Joe Pavelski sign of the Times, $11. Here's a Kirill Kaprizov, an SP card. So this is a brand that I believe came out for retail purposes.
Yeah.
It's got a jersey on it, it looks like. PSA 9, $50. Not a card that turns my crank at all, but there will be. It's a cheap way to get into a rookie Kaprizov rookie card. Hey, you're a Kaprizov guy. There's another Kaprizov right here. The Young Guns Canvas SGC 10 at $145. Josh, why don't you tell us a bit about these Kaprizov cards and what you think of them?
Yeah, I agree with you on the SP. If you want just a real cheap entry level kind of jersey swatch, that it's not a bad looking card, and it's I think a good PC play. The Young Guns, again, I kind of like the canvas, but I know that it's sort of a to each their own, and who knows how much long-term value. But though, because I like any Young Guns card that isn't his base Young Guns because of the crazy soaring pop counts. So the PSA 10 Young Guns base already has the 4th highest pop count of any hockey card ever, at like 3,120 something right now. And so I the things that I like about the canvas are, it's not, like I said, it's not as Young Guns base. And I like to, and this is just my opinion, and is that when you look at, I believe that both SGC and CSG are good, tough graders, and you can get really good cards at a discount from essentially what the PSA 10 would be, just because it doesn't carry the same value weight as PSA does in the hobby.
Yeah, you're basically getting the same card in the same or better grade in many cases, because you just don't really know, because they're just because. And you're going to save money. You're going to save money if you go with an SGC card over a PSA card. Okay, next row here, we've got a Young Gun of Alec Regula. This card is sold. So this whole row are over. Yeah, we are now in the next window. So this row is done. These cards are pretty low value, $16, $9, $21 here. This card didn't even get a bid. A Dawson Mercer went unsold. I don't know that I've ever seen that before. Alex Turcotte rookie did $6. These are low value cards. $6 these all sold for across the board. Everything here basically $10 or under. We're not going to spend any time on them. And here's some more just kind of no-name type Young Guns. Basically, well, Jeremy Swayman's not a no-name, but a raw card for $13. I think we'll have to see what happens with these NBA authenticated cards on PWCC's platform, and how they catch on. I think right now people aren't coming to the platform for raw cards, but they've got a good partnership with Mike Baker Authenticated, and eventually, hopefully, that will turn around for them. And Marco Rossi, $21.
Yeah, I just don't think there's a lot of. I know a guy like you and some other guys in the chat know who Mike Baker is, but until the last 2 months, Troy and I had no idea who that was. And so I think that for Mike and his company and PWCC, it's really important to tell that brand story and to understand that he was one of the original graders at PSA. And because when you kind of get his backstory, then I think the concept makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, Mike Baker is the real deal. I mean, I've seen people give a hard time on the NBA stickers, the gold, the silver that you see on some slabs that he was putting on them to basically the same thing that PWCC was doing with their eye appeal designations. But now I believe that he's kind of only working with PWCC. I don't think he's doing any other, eye appeal reviews. And if that's the case, they got the right guy for it. I mean, he's, as you said, Josh, an original PSA grader is my understanding, respected amongst those who know, PSA graders and who is who. So, yeah. But again, it's for a modern day Young Gun. I don't know how much value the market's going to put on that for now. I think it's definitely more important on a vintage card, especially one that is prone to counterfeit.
Can I point out a card real quick that just caught my eye, Jeremy?
I just want to say we're down to 57. We're down to 57 items, guys, from 147. So, and Jake Dahl did win. You won your card. What did you win, Jake? Let us know while Josh points out the card he wanted to point out.
Well, I just saw that there was an Owen Power Young Gun SGC 10 that I think it's still live for $80. Yeah, I believe right there. So that's $175 in a PSA 10 holder. So if you're a Sabres fan and you want an Owen Power rookie and you want a really good grade, and we know, again, I believe SGC grades, pretty well, and you can be confident in that. That's a value.
I think so too. Yeah. Here's the Kaprizov canvas we talked about. Here's the Kaprizov SP Authentic Future Watch Auto, one of my favorite rookie cards of a player each year. Population is 11, very low. The card's out of $9.99. It's a $16.50. And if you might notice, this is the picture that we used on the YouTube thumbnail for this episode. I cropped it out, so hope Upper Deck doesn't mind. But if you do, let me know. And in any event, it's a beautiful card. I love the SP Authentic Future Watch Autos because of just the cleanliness of them. There's not much distraction on them. Okay, we can see we've just lost a bunch of more items that have now sold. On this page right here, the Cale Makar SPA Future Watch Auto PSA 10 sold for $21.60. Barrett Hayton Credentials debut ticket did $13. And then the buybacks box is still alive. The McDavid Young Gun BGS 95 still alive. Here with this Matthews Upper Deck Ice Orange Parallel sold for $37. Those two are sold. The Kaprizov is going for 5 more minutes. And the Bobby Hull autograph on, I believe, a reprint card is still alive at $78. So let's go to page 1 and see how many cards are left in the auction. So, I mean, this is all access extended bidding. Anyone is eligible to bid right now, but we're down to 25 cards. So, you know, comparing to the first 2 weeks we did this, Josh, it feels like it's going at the same speed.
Yeah,
in hockey, at least. In hockey. The card I want to buy is at $12.50. I'm still tempted, people. I'm still tempted. Remind me to come back here. It's at 3 minutes before I need to place a bid. Okay, so this Maurice Richard, the Rocket Richard, 58 Parkers, PSA 5. I mean, it looks pretty nice. If you want to collect Maurice Richard cards, this is a nice card to get into. A PSA 5 is a fine grade for 1958. Looks pretty good from here. I haven't really examined the card, but that looks pretty nice from here. Here's the Champs card that Mitch was asking about earlier. Mitch, I've never heard of Werner Schnarr, so I can't comment on it, but it's a PSA 8 from 1924, 1 of 1, 1 higher, $2,400. You might see a bidding war on this from a PSA set registry perspective. There could be people competing for this card because it's a common in the set. I don't know how many cards are in the set, but pretty cool. It's a pretty neat looking card. Just never heard of the guy, so I have no interest in it, but I'm not collecting the set. If I was, I'd probably have more interest in it.
I always think it's crazy cards that old that survive this long in that condition, right? Because for 50 years, nobody cared about the condition of sports cards, and somehow that card made it in near mint condition for that long. It's kind of a miracle.
It is. It certainly is. Nick here said, I think the canvas cards are a solid card for the PCA. They normally always high grade. They gem at a pretty high rate, which can work against them in the long run, but you got to look at overall population too. Jake says he won the 1984 Topps Gretzky PSA 7 All-Star. Your first ever vintage Gretzky. Welcome to the team, Jake Dahl. Good to know, and congrats on a very affordable card. So congratulations. Cards AH wants to know, the sealed hockey product usually sell well on this platform. I don't have enough experience speaking to that, so don't know. Goes on to say that that's almost a 100-year-old card. Yeah, the Champs card is almost 100 years old here, the 1924 Werner Schnarr. I literally have never heard of the player until last night, or until I looked at this auction for the first time. Let's get to the bottom of the page here. I love the second year Rod Gilbert. It's a PSA 6. I might hold out for a better centered copy myself, but still pretty cool. And you have Boom Boom Jeffrey on. We talked about him last night. There's the Gordie Howe Altered Authentic from his third year, 1968. So the other Marcel Dion must have sold. The PSA 7 must have sold. The Mark Howe is at 320. This is a real tough card too, by the way. Here's the Topps 8. It's at 9,500 plus another 1,800 or so, another 1,900 on top of that. So this is almost at 11. This is at 11 grand, as was said before. 1,325 on the Joe Thornton. Still way too cheap, in my opinion. The 11 and a quarter on the Jonathan Taves. Were you going to jump in, Josh?
Nope.
No. Sorry. Kaprizov's at 1675. And before it goes to 35 seconds, let's see what's on page 2, because we're about to lose a few more cards to the Hammer. I think that makes sense, losing them to the Hammer. Only one card on this page right now, and that's the Bobby Hull. So we're going to go back to page 1 and check in on my Horton card. Do I want to put a bid in? Yeah, I'll put in a bid. I'm outbid. Well, at least I got time to think about it again now, right? I just made it. It's going to the next window, and I can think about it for 5 minutes. Do I want to make another bid? Guys, what do you guys think? Well, should I place another bid on the Tim Horton? Should I place another bid on the Tim Horton? It's a PSA.
What do you own of that already? You must own a copy of it, or have a copy in your PC.
I don't have.
Oh, really?
I don't have a 53. No, I have his 52, which is I have a PSA 8 of his rookie card. I love it. It's the same image, but a lot smaller. This would be a really nice card to own with it. I don't know.
You should go all in.
I could also buy. I could also just, Josh. What I'm thinking is I could also just wait and buy a really nice PSA 6 or SGC 6, or I can wait for a lower grade that looks good too. So I got 4 minutes to decide. I'll decide. I'll think about it. Oh, and the Maurice Richard has sold at $18,600. Man, I wish I was like in a position to just throw around that kind of money right now, because I love this card. Love it. The Kobe sold. Yeah, $780 on the Magic. Nice price. Nice price. I wish I still had one of those. I sold my PSA 9 several years ago, and I regretted it immediately. Okay, back to the auction though. Let's just do a quick refresh and see how many cards are still there. Hey, Jeff, you have no problem spending my money. Hey, I did ask for advice, so I can't complain now about that, right? Let's see what you guys are saying here.
Well, it's not a card I don't think you'd ever regret owning, right?
No, for sure not. I got 3 minutes. I'm still thinking about it. I am. Mitch says, you looked up Werner Schnarr. He had 0 points in 26 games played and spent most of his life running a flower shop in Kitchener. So the person who is buying this card, the people that are bidding on this are working on the complete set, because the guy is the furthest thing from a Hall of Famer. So, but hey, still very cool. Okay, T-Dot says I should bid on the card. T-Dot says it is Canadiana. T-Dot says the value is locked. Decoy Card says, from my couch, I love the eye appeal. No pressure. Thank you to Decoy for giving me advice, but saying no pressure. You guys are all pressuring me here. But hey, I did ask for it, so I guess that's okay. And of course, Jeff McMahon is just like, do it. Just do it. Maybe we'll put in another bid. So I got to figure out 1,300. The next bid would be 1,325 plus 260. So you're at almost 1,600 plus. So you're 1,600 US. That's about $2,000 Canadian. That's. I had plumbers here all day. It's new hot water tank in the house. We put in soft water in the house today. Had a bunch of things fixed.
That sounds very adultish. You should.
Tim Hortons is competing with house maintenance right now, so we'll see. I might sit it out and wait for the next one, but I do love the card. Yeah, I think we're gonna sit it out. Thanks for the advice, guys, but I'm sorry. I think I'm gonna wait. Let's see. The Thornton is still alive. It's going to the next window. So we've got 1:40, and we're going to lose some more cards. So let's just see we have 1 green here, 3 red. So these need bids to continue to survive on. Same status in this row. 3 need a bid to continue. We have one for sure survivor there, 1 guaranteed survivor here to the next round. There's 2 survivors, 3, 4, 2 could fall off. 1 there, 5. So we got 5 cards only. The out of 16, there's only 16 hockey items left in this auction right now, guys. Seb says hot water is overrated. Buy the card. I love it. Mitch says, I don't think I've ever had a hobby friend ever tell me anything other than buy it. That's right. That's a good point. Mitch. Well taken. So we've got under a minute here. 1 green. I want to recount. 2 green, 3 green, 4, 5 greens. Which card will be the last one alive in this auction? I'm going to say, for me, guys, I'm calling it between the champs, Werner Schnarr. I'm going to say will be the Bobby Hull autograph. Those are my 2 survivor picks. If I have to pick one survivor, Josh, get ready to pick next. What's going to be the survivor? I'm going to pick the Bobby Hull as my survivor pick. With 16 left, we got to start picking these earlier. Do you have a pick, Josh?
Show me the ones that are green again. So it's just the Bobby Hull and who else?
Oh, the Schnarr's done. The Schnarr's basically done here. Well, it's too late for me to run through them. Let's see what happens right here. It's about to. Oh, no. the Schnarr is alive. Here, let me refresh, and they'll all be
Yeah.
green. There's only going to be a few cards left. Let's see what we got. We've got, oh, this one, no. Let's refresh one more time. So the Horton did sell. I guess if nothing else, I push it up a little bit, but we've got 5 cards left. Your survivor picks. Let's get your survivor picks in, everybody. The Schnarr is done. The Werner Schnarr is done. So my pick is now Bobby Hull. There's only 5 left. What do you think?
I'm going with the Thornton.
Yeah. That would be logical, but I that's why I was going against logic. I was thinking, you just never know. Like, remember last time? I don't remember the card, but it was like, what? That's the card that went the longest? You just never really know. Mitch says, is the Bobby Hull just a fake card with an authentic signature? I don't believe it's a fake. Oh, maybe it is. Let me not say anything yet. Let's open this thing up and take a look. The Marc-Andre Fleury sold for $240. That seems like a steal for a rookie card out of 10. This card is still going. The Borje Salming sold for $105 for an O-Pee-Chee, probably sheet cut. And then there's the cards that I was really interested in. Oh, there's another bid on the Thornton right now. I can close that. And let's go to this card here. What is this thing?
It just says trading card.
Yeah, maybe it's a counterfeit. Why they couldn't slab a counterfeit? Damn, I wish this thing doesn't work.
I don't like when the grading card companies just go trading card. I'm not a big fan of that.
No, me neither. I don't know what this thing is. Probably better to look at the back. Yeah, I don't know if this is a reproduction or a complete counterfeit. It looks like a counterfeit to me. Oh, well, Beckett witnessed the autograph on January 25th, 2020. Autograph's authentic. It says trading card. I'm just surprised that Beckett would slab a flat out fraud, like counterfeit card that's meant to deceive people, even though it has an autograph on it, but maybe they do.
Yeah, because there was no date on the back, right? That showed that it was an authorized reprint or an official reprint.
Yeah, you'd see something somewhere. I'm seeing nothing that is nothing that indicates that this is different than the actual rookie card, except the fact that it's not the actual rookie card. Otherwise, there's no way this would be $105, and it would have said 1958 tops up here on the slab, I would think. So, yeah. But Bobby Hull recently died. I'm getting his autograph, for $100. Seems like a decent price. Although you can probably get some pack pulled autographs of his by, authenticated by Upper Deck for not much more than that, if not a little bit less even. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what this is. I'm curious. So we have a minute and a half left, but let's see. T-Dot says, cannot believe there were no O-Pee-Chee Gretzkys in this auction. Yeah, that's a rare thing. It's nice to see, actually. Cards AH says, Mario, that's your pick. That is his pick on the Survivor, is the Mario right here.
That's a cool card. I thought hard about picking that one.
Did you? You can still bid on it. You can still bid. Mitch says, I think they could slab it if the autograph is authentic. Yeah, but they could if that's in their rules. I'm surprised though. I just don't think it's a great play, but the autograph's real and there's value in the autograph. I guess there's something to that too, right? So what do you guys think? What do you guys think out there? Should professional grading companies slab cards that are obvious counterfeits but have an authentic autograph on them? Is there an issue with that? And I don't know in my own mind if there is. It just seems weird to me.
Did Bobby sign a lot, Jeremy?
Yes, Bobby signed a lot.
Yeah,
he's been at every card show for the past 15 years. Signed for anybody that ever asked him. Was a super nice guy in public. Yeah. So 3 cards are in the green. 3 cards are for sure going to move. These 2 right here in 10 seconds. Looks like we're going to, most likely, they're going to drop off here. And we're going to be down to 3 more cards. And we only have 2 more 5-minute windows. And then we're into the, or what are we in? The 1 minute? We are in the Yeah, we got 2 more 5-minute windows, and then we're going to go into the 2-minute window. So 2 cards are gone, 3 hockey cards left. I mean, I got to say, I kind of cheated on picking my survivor. I chose it when there weren't many cards left. So, but I'm going to stick with the Bobby Hull for now. Hey, look, you're already ahead on the Lemieux there, Josh, because it's already got a bid. And I'm curious what's going on with the rest of the auction. Let's do that for a moment and take a look at all the listings in the auction and see how many are left. I'm curious to see. So we're going to get rid of hockey there. It's going to refresh. Then we're going to, there are some comments coming in. We're going to get rid of wax hockey right there. Let it refresh again. I wish you could get rid of those at once with only one refresh. 315 cards are left in the whole weekly auction right now that ends tonight on number 55. There are cards live already for next Sunday's auction number 56. So keep that in mind. And why don't we just do a quick sort here, and let's sort by highest price just to see what is left instead of earliest card, highest bid. And let's see what the big cards are that are left in the weekly right now. First, check our clock. We've got 3 minutes still. So the biggest card is this Ken Griffey Jr. Row 0 out of 100 at $9,250. That's a great card. Now, I say it's a great card. I know a lot of people are big fans of the Row Zeros, the Legacy Row Zeros. Personally, I don't love the card, but I recognize its greatness because a lot of people do love the card. And, you know, the basketball versions as well. There's a Kobe Championship Galaxy, $3,000 for a PSA 10, pop 16. It's a low pop for a pretty important Kobe Bryant insert. You know, also has Michael Jordan in it, so there, you know, gives it even more kind of attention to the equity of the insert set. There's a Drew Bledsoe PMG numbered at a 50, I believe, $2,000. Nice Mickey Mantle up here. 67 tops and a PSA 8 holder. Definitely off-centered, but still pretty nice. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's go back here to hockey for a moment. So we're down to 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. The Thornton still is a steal at 1,400. I don't know what this card, like what I would value it to be, but, you know, 165, I could see it being a bit higher. It's a 101, none graded higher. I wonder what the PSA population is. That would be somewhat instructive. And right now, Josh, if the colors hold, you are going to win the survivor between our 2 picks. Well, you and also Cards AH, who also picked Mario to win. Let's see. Nick Martelli says, I think if they state it's a fake, I've got no problem considering how often some of the older guys sign stuff. Yeah, if they stated it overtly, which they didn't on this label, it just says trading card. It doesn't say, you know, not like inauthentic or anything like that. T-Dot says they should clearly label reprint on the label in favor of signature preservation. That's well said, T-Dot. Yep. If it is in fact one, as you say. Vintage says PSA slabs reprints with autos all the time, but they're usually identified as a reprint. They should, and that's the way to do it, I would say. Jake Dahl says Bobby Hull also stayed after every game and gave fans an autograph if asked before leaving the game. Yeah, he was one of the most friendliest guys you'd ever meet. And Nick says Johnny Bauer was known for doing the same, especially if you ran into him at the Leafs game. Very nice, very nice. So just under a minute left. Thornton is at 1,700 plus 340. So he's cracked $2,000 now. Okay. So that, you know,
yeah,
we're in the bottom range of where I think it should fall, which, you know, I think it should fall $2,000 to $4,000. So the fact that we're up in what are we at now? $2,040. Yeah, that still low, but it's a lot better than when we saw it at $650 or so when we started the show. This card, you know, it's what these are creeping up. What, $5 increments still? Yeah, $5 increments. So this one could take a bit to end if there are a couple of people that are waiting one window at a time. But it's going to start to speed up, you know, if it's needed to. All 3 cards are still alive now into the next window, which is right now. So here comes. Let's see. see, these should turn red. These should be red. I'm going to hit refresh here for a moment.
It just turned.
They are. They went. Yeah. It's right when my finger was already clicking the mouse down. But here we go. So they are now in the red, and they need bids to go into the next window. What did the Kaprizov get? I'm not sure. I am not sure. Josh, do you mind checking? I just don't want to slow down my system by clicking through if I don't have to. If you could let us know, Josh, that'd be awesome.
Yep.
And if you guys, while we're doing this, if you guys have any questions about anything hockey card related, Josh and I will do our best to answer, and even just give an opinion on something. Happy to do that. If you have any thoughts whatsoever, that'd be great. Seems like the All Access didn't have much of an impact tonight in terms of extending the length of time the auction went. I can't say if it's had an impact on the amount of bids coming in, but I don't think it's impacted the time the auction's going to last. But we'll see. We'll see.
When it shows sold, does it add the buyer's premium right away?
Automatically it does. Yeah, it's in there.
So 2010 US for the Kaprizov Future Watch Auto PSA 10.
There you go, T-Dot. $2,000, buyer's premium included. Mitch says, what do you think the Thornton Gold is worth these days? I have one I've been holding for a while. Yeah, there is a gold parallel of this card. I think it's rumored to be out of 50. It's not numbered, but I believe that's the hobby's general understanding, or, generally accepted sort of print run, is that they're out of 50, the golds. And it depends. I mean, if we're going to assume it's a PSA 10, Mitch, similar to this one here, to me, it should be a $10,000 card. Should be. Is it? I don't know. But what do you think, Mitch? What do you think? And what does anyone else think? And I say it legit. I'm legitimately wondering, what do you think? Because 10 grand's like, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10. Jake says, are you guys excited for the cup coming out soon? Yeah, of course. So it's only been like 8 years. No, I'm kidding. It's been a while. I'm very excited for the cup to come out again and just have a look at cards. And, all of a sudden we're going to just see a proliferation of them available on various sales platforms that we're going to be able to purchase and add to our collection. So I'm very excited, Jake. Very excited.
Jeremy. So a 96 Black Diamond Triple Gem Joe Thornton Gold PSA 10 sold on September 12th of this past year for $6,800 US from the PWCC vault.
Yeah. Okay. So what did I say? I came down to 8 to 10, 68. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense to me. Makes sense to me for sure. I would think it should be worth a bit more, and maybe it will be one day, but yeah, that sounds about right. Cards AH says, what subsets do you guys like to collect in the ultra modern sets? I don't collect really subset. Do you mean inserts or parallels, Cards AH? And please be more specific if you don't mind. At least throw a set out there if you can. But Josh, do you have anything that comes to mind immediately?
I have the same question you do, just on kind of the definition that he's looking at.
Aaron Rasmus says, can you check the pop on the middle one? It's a 1 of 1, none graded higher. It says that right here, Aaron. Sometimes PWCC does include that data. You see it right here as well on the Thornton. Under a minute, guys. Under a minute, and that Thornton might be over. Stated print run of 50 on the gold. Seb says that Thornton would look great with the Marleau PSA 10 I got from you 2 years ago. It would, Seb. It would. Kind of wouldn't mind having that card back. Mitch says, I saw a PSA. There we go. There's the $6,800 on the Thornton. I don't know if the market is the market down on that card, though. It shouldn't be, but maybe probably is, I guess. Nick says, I think 8,500 might be fair. Mitch's is raw, no defects. Nick says, so how do we feel about hockey? How do we feel about Hockey Slab how do we feel about Hockey Slab? Is PSA the go-to, or SGC or BGS? Asking because I have some I'm thinking of cracking and resubbing. No, tag is the way to go for sure. Tag, if you want consistent and accurate grading and transparent. Nick, I would go with tag. That's who I'm using for my modern day cards moving forward. But if you're looking to sell right away, PSA commands more value on most cards. But at Tag, we do have data that shows that some cards in Tag slabs have outsold same grades in PSA slabs, and of course, there's data going the other way as well. So the Thornton is over. It has ended at $2,040. I think that's a really good price for that card. So congratulations to the winner. And I am now. Oh no, you picked. Did you pick Thornton or Mario?
I picked Thornton.
You picked Thornton, so you're out. So now it's down to me and who picked the Mario. Me and Cards AH are still alive in the Survivor, and Cards AH is definitely alive. I might be done right here. Something seems wonky with this. Oh no, we're down to 1 minute windows, I guess. We're down to 1 minute windows. So were there no 2 minute windows then in the weekly now? I think they go from 30 minutes to 5 to 1, I guess is the case. And the sole survivor, Cards AH, I believe for the win. Oh no, I guess Bobby got a bid. No, he did not get a bid. There we go. It's converted over. And the winner of Survivor tonight is Cards AH, the only person who played outside of your hosts, Josh and myself. So thank you, everybody, for that. We'll try to make this a little bit more interactive next time. Grotman Mitch says, I hope the Hall winner realizes it's a counterfeit card. Same here. AH says, it's case for the cup. It's case of the cup for Survivor. Yeah, case of the cup coming your way, Cards AH. Yeah, not. And Nick says, you have showed me the Tag slab and it's beautiful. I just find some people really like BGS for hockey. Oh yeah, of course you're going to find people that like different things for different cards for sure.
You want to hear a quick, really funny the cup case story?
Sure.
So we noticed that there was a record sale of $42,000 US for a 6-tin or box case of the 2015 the cup at another auction company, which I won't name. And so that's a big price for a 6-tin case of the cup, right? But obviously you're looking for the McDavid chase. And I was doing some pre-sale research on a lot of the big internet retailers the other day for the 2020 cup. And I was on, it was either Steel City or Blowout, one of the two. And I noticed that you could buy, right, e-commerce checkout, a case of 2015 the cup for $35,000 US. So 2 days earlier, someone had won it at auction for $42,000, and had they just done a little bit of checking, they could have saved $7,000 and gone to Blowout or whatever and just bought it. I thought that was funny.
That is kind of funny, actually. They could have bought it cheaper by clicking a button somewhere. And the Mario has sold for $222, and that does bring to a close the weekly PWCC hockey auctions. If we look at the overall auction, last time we checked in, there were 315 items remaining. I'm guessing it's under 100 now. Let's see what we got. Total guess, 57 cards remain. I think there were like about 7,000 or 8,000 cards in the auction. So it's nice that this thing does end relatively quick, at least, for people who want to do other things tonight. But I wonder, I guess we'll see what PWCC feels, or how they feel the extended bidding helped or hindered the cause this week. So we're going to go back to comments now, and we're going to wrap this up pretty soon here. Jeff McMahon says, I saw my first Tag slab in person the other day. Really like the look. Yeah, if anyone's going to be at the Burbank show that next weekend, Tag will be grading on site transparently. You can watch the card get graded at the show. It's going to be pretty amazing, actually. And I got to think there'll be a lot of people kind of doing some content on that and grabbing some videos to the extent that what they can see. So I think you'll see some content on that coming out. Card says, I've never considered buying from these auctions. Is shipping priced okay? Yeah, I mean, for me it is. I don't know the exact shipping rates, but I've never had an issue with them, and I've been buying on PWCC since they kind of started their own platform about a year and a half ago. So yeah, definitely would recommend it. Nick says, will Tag be grading or have a booth at Toronto? We will have a booth. We will not be grading on site, but we will be taking submissions and showcasing our technology and stuff. Nick, definitely. Yeah.
Another note, Jeremy, on the PWCC shipping is, if you want the card in hand, it is pretty reasonable from because I have used it, but you can also vault them too.
Yeah, you can leave them there if you want. I'm actually, so that the Burbank show, I think I had 8 cards in my PWCC vault, but I'm someone who wants my cards in hand, so I'm picking them up at the show this weekend. So I'm going to come home from Burbank with some new cards one way or another. So I can't wait to get those cards.
How is Burbank show for hockey? Is there a decent amount there? Or
there was last time. This will only be the second ever Burbank show. But I've even seen like one guy, I think Porco, Porco on Instagram. He's been kind of promoting that he'll be there with Modern Hockey for sale at his booth. So I'll probably hit up his booth first when I first get there. Michael says, "What's up? What's up with you, Michael? Welcome to the show." Says, "How come Kirill is on the thumbnail? Any big Kaprizovs finishing this weekend?" Yeah, so Michael, there were a couple of Kaprizovs. There was his Future Watch auto, but also I just, Josh, our co-host here, is Kaprizov is his guy. He's a Wild fan, and I have the privilege of picking what to put on there every week, and I went with Kirill just for fun. So no real reason other than that, but really because of Josh more than anything.
Well, and he's in the red reverse retro, got the North Stars colors. And one of the things too, and I ask people this all the time because I'm really adamant about this, is most Minnesota Wild fans do not like our official color scheme and would prefer that the team just switch to the old North Stars colors.
Well, look at that. And Michael says Kirill is his guy also. So I wonder, Michael, are you in Minnesota? Are you of Russian heritage? Why is it that Kirill is your guy? Really curious. And who knows, maybe you live 4 blocks down from Josh in Minnesota. C-Dubs, what's going on? Good to see you. Welcome to the end of the show. And C-Dub says, "Big Jeremy, are you going to the Burbank show?" Yes, I am, C-Dubs. I will be there. I get in at about 5 o'clock Thursday. So by the time I get there, VIP night should still be happening, and I'll be there right through. So if you're there, make sure if we've already met, I don't know by your name on here, but definitely let's say hello, please. And David G says, "Should have put Rocket Richard on the title picture, the real winner tonight." Yeah, maybe I should have. David. I'm not gonna push back on that because he was the real winner for sure. Oh, great to see that. Make sure I'll be most of my time will be at the tag booth, but I will be walking the floor. So definitely flag me down, say hello, or come by the tag booth and I'll show you around there and come say hi. Cool. Well, Josh, the auction's over.
Yep. We made it.
Let's wrap up then, because we did do 2 hours and 40 minutes of content together last night. We kind of started off doing this. The site went down and we transitioned into a nice Q&A. So I recommend anybody who wants to hear more hockey card talk, just go to the channel, go to the Sports Cards Live YouTube channel and click on last night's episode. We went for a while and there was some good chatter. Also, I haven't done this yet. If you're not yet listening to the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast, that's Josh and Troy, 2 episodes a week, dropping Mondays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
Check them out, guys. It's some of the best hockey card content in the hobby. Maybe if not the best, between pure hockey card content. Check it out, definitely. And of course, if you're not following myself on Instagram, please go ahead and do so. And same with Josh is hockey_cards_Gongshow. Follow them on IG and check out their pod. That's it. Any final comments on the night from you, Josh?
Yeah, I was thinking in the last few minutes about the exciting, and I'm really excited about the new extended bidding, the all access extended bidding feature. And honestly, I think with what happened yesterday, this is a punt week on that. I think next week we'll get next week's the Super Bowl. So, it might take a couple more weeks to really understand what is, the impact and kind of how it changes how the auction ends and how long it's extended and how many more people get in.
Yeah. We'll see. There weren't a lot, there were some duds in this week's auction too. Like there were some $5-10 cards, which aren't really that fun to watch. So yeah, I think you're right. And I think as more and more hockey cards come onto the platform, which maybe because of us doing this show, more and more people will send their cards to PWCC to sell. Hopefully more and more people bid on the cards too. The more cards, the more bidders they will need. So, we're going to continue to do this show, but we will not be doing one next Sunday. I will be at the Burbank show, and we will also not be doing one the following Sunday. So the next 2 Sundays, this show will not be occurring. But after that, we're going to be going until, unless we're out of town at card shows, and there is the Mint Collective coming the end of March, beginning April. Then there is the Toronto Expo in the middle of April. Then there's the Edmonton Expo. I'll be at it the second week or the first weekend of May. So we'll be doing this regularly, except for a couple here and there. I think what I want to really shoot for is at least twice a month, hopefully 3, and sometimes we'll hit 4. When there's no travel. Really quickly though, Nick says, quick question for you both: modern hockey card grail you don't own? Ovechkin PMG green from 2012 for me, Josh, and that's the first. There's probably others, but that's the first one that really comes to mind because I have the Gretzky and I have the Crosby, so I think having the Ovechkin would go really good with those two. Does anything pop into your mind, Josh?
Well, yeah, one of the cards we've talked about tonight is the Kaprizov Future Watch Auto. It is maybe my favorite hockey card of all time, just because I'm a Wild fan. He's our first real superstar, and it's been very hard, but I know that with SPA just coming out in the middle of last summer, that the price was going to be outrageous at first. And I know that it's a card that's fairly replaceable, that there is always going to be one for sale. And so I have a target price that I have, and then I'm going to jump in at that point.
Well, Nick says solid choices. So thank you, Nick. Glad that you approve. Thank you, Anthony George, for joining us. T-Dot, it's partially a scarcity issue, which is good. Yes, agree. I think we're talking about the amount of cards, hockey cards on the platform. Hockey card collectors don't want to sell their cards too often.
No,
like if I were to unleash my collection on PWCC, oh my God. But I won't. I don't want. They're not available. T-Dot says for hockey in particular, because the big cards get the bid. Seb says, will you come to Montreal show in May? I think we'll see. We'll see, Seb. I don't know at this point in time. Okay, guys, thank you for joining. I will be doing a sort of surprise episode of Collectible Live tomorrow. This is going to be kind of non-sports card related. I'm going to be talking to a gentleman by the name of Glenn Brunswick, and he is an expert and a dealer in comic book art, original comic book art.
Ooh.
Pretty cool stuff. I can't wait to learn about that tomorrow, 7:00 Eastern on the channel. Check it out. Hope to see you then. With that, this episode is now over.